Welcome to the Retrospect podcast, a show where people come together from different walks of life and discuss a topic from their generation's perspective. My name is Ian, and as always, I'm joined by Stoney.
Hello.
And Jason.
Hello, everyone.
How's it going?
Oh, good.
We're all good here.
Little nipply today, though, right?
It's a beautiful.
Yes.
It's a beautiful day
It's
outside.
I'm glad because my AC's broken. So,
Well, this is the time for the AC to break.
Yeah.
Speaking of AC, my UV light, one of my UV lights are out, so
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna have to be making a phone call to have that replaced. So yeah.
and the good thing for me is because I have gas heating here. The heat is separate from the whole AC stuff. So if we needed, I could have the heater on. But I'm nervous to get the house too hot in case the temperature fluctuates, and then it's hot as heck
Well,
in here.
as cold as it is now,
Yeah.
you could just run the fan and
Right,
just
right.
circulate the air,
Yeah.
which would kind of help, moderate it to a certain extent.
I don't have gas in my house. That's kind of the one thing that I wish
Yeah.
I had. Now, the gas line literally is right out in front of my house. I could have it run. And I was thinking about doing that when I was doing some remodeling about 4 or 5 years ago in the house. That was kind of planned to run and to do a gas stove.
Yeah.
Is what
I love
wanted.
my gas stove.
But
That's the only way to cook.
Well,
love
I'm gonna be honest with you. I after doing some reading, I probably am glad I did not get a gas stove. And if I ever put another stove in my house, it would be an induction.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And that way you're not generating any heat in your house at all.
Right.
And you can just put your hand on it.
Yeah.
You never have to worry about that kind of stuff. So
I've got a couple of those little induction plates that you just kind of put on your counter and run them. I got those when I started learning how to moonshine. Because one of my barbecue sauces takes moonshine. But I was having this horrible time finding what I wanted and consistently getting what I wanted. So I learned how to do it myself. And I got these because basically, you want two temperatures. You want 146 and 173. And that burns off your two different types of alcohol. And you never want it to go to 212 here because that burns your water off. Right. And so you got the good alcohol and the bad alcohol. The good alcohol is like 173. And the bad alcohol it is about 146 and so I'm thinking, hey, perfect way to do this is to get one of these induction ones and put it on there exactly. But then my moonshine just tasted kind of sterile. And I couldn't figure it out. And so I was talking to one of my moonshine buddies up in Kentucky, and he basically called me a dumbass. And he says, because why do you think we use fire? He says, because you don't want it exactly perfect. You want a little nuance in it that gives it these flavors and these different tastes and things like that. But that's also why we do it 2 or 3 times. And after I did, went back to fire, boom, it was perfect. So I have these 2 induction plates just sitting there. But
well, I think if I ever built another home or moved, that would probably be what we'd get. Would be an induction.
They're neat. They're neat because you set it to a certain degree, and that's it.
That's it. Now, I mean, of course, if you're doing some nuanced stuff, like Stoney's talking about, then I could see maybe having doing gas. But
well, the good thing if there's a storm, having gas for your stove,
for
your home generator, for things like that, gas does come in handy.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Anytime I almost put gas in the house, but I could not do a proper vent that I believe you're required to have a vented roof if you have a gas stove.
Probably.
Which I don't have, and it would have been very, very expensive to run that in my house to try, because I have a 2-story.
Oh gosh.
So that would have been a whole different. So I basically said, nah.
Yeah.
About the only thing I'd probably do would maybe a gas hot water heater.
Yeah,
that would be good, and you could always have an outdoor kitchen too.
Correct. Well, I don't really have a house to really take advantage of that. It's just it's small, and you would have to reconfigure the whole. If I could like bulldoze it and restart it again, then yeah, maybe so. But
yeah. I like it, but I don't know if I like it that much.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, you just might as well.
Right.
Yeah, but cast iron and open flame, you can't get any better cooking than that.
No, you can't. No, that's how our ancestors have cooked for a long time.
Yeah, that's what like I said, I inherited what all was in this house here, so and I don't mind it. It's really nice.
A gas stove, or
gas stove, gas water heater, gas HVAC. I don't know what it's technically considered, but so and it's been pretty good. You can see, I love how you can see on the bill for me how like how the electricity bill kind of goes up and the gas bill goes down during the summer months. But then as the temperature gets cooler, you can see we don't nearly run the heater nearly as much, so it never quite gets as high. So like the utility bills are
you would think
zero.
Gas. You would think gas would be cheap.
Oh yeah,
as plentiful as it is.
Oh yeah. For me, it is. I don't pay a whole lot for it. Like I said, even whenever we run the heater a whole bunch, and
it takes a lot more energy to make heat.
Yeah. So.
It takes a lot to make cold.
Oh, I'm paying for it.
Not as much as heat, though.
Really?
Yeah, it takes more energy to make heat.
Well, I'm not.
And for example, it takes more money. Like in a traditional, AC heater, you will spend more electricity making heat than you will do making cold.
Well,
believe it or not,
my bill does not reflect that.
Generally, that's just kind of the science of what it would take, what it takes to make heat.
I think
from an electric standpoint,
right.
And if you're using gas, it's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah. And in my personal application, I don't believe that I run the heat near as much.
Which you think where
also
we
helps.
live, it's it's not like you're running AC more. You're running heater. But
there are moments in the summertime when it gets hot enough where I specifically turn the unit off for a minute because it's been running for a long time.
Exactly, just to give it a break. But yeah, I had a just kind of FYI. I had a nice. We went to the girlfriend and I attended a wine tasting.
Oh, nice.
They call the Taste of Italy.
Okay.
And it was at one of the local Total Wines.
I love that.
Was very, very impressed with the instructor. We tasted some really nice red wines and some whites. And there's so much good wine out there. And unless you just try some of this stuff, you don't even know it exists. So it's but we brought home about 4 or 5 bottles of wine, and nice. So that was fun. We had a good time this weekend. So with that, but
there's a couple.
Hopefully, we'll do another one. I think I want to do a bourbon one.
Yeah.
And see here, I pulled it up. It says heating a home with natural gas is generally more cost effective than using electricity.
Really? Wow. Okay. I mean, like I said, it makes sense.
Using electricity to try to make heat you burn more energy.
Makes sense.
Making heat than you do.
I thought you were saying it was cheaper to use electricity than the gas.
I said no. That's what I'm saying. Gas is gas is cheaper, but if I don't have gas, so from an I'm all electricicity.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So if I got to run heaters for a long, you're going to burn. I've seen it on the bill.
Wow.
Versus the air conditioner.
Yeah.
So on average, natural gas heating costs around $540 per year, while electric heating ranges from $900 to $2,500 annually, depending on the type of system and electricity rates.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's significant.
That's big
if you think about it. That's significant.
So that's what I'm saying. It's
that's crazy.
Thank goodness you don't.
I
don't have to use a heat. And be honest with you, I don't like heaters that much because, like this morning, I put the AC on last night thinking it was going to be because I like it cold when I go to bed. But I mean, I woke up, it was
cold.
It was chilly in the house. I was like, gee, why is it?
Yeah.
And I went, oh, well, it is cold out there. So,
right.
Well, see, but here's the next thing to think about too. I don't cook barbecue with gas.
Okay.
Okay.
Use charcoal or wood?
I use lump coal or wood, but I don't use gas. Because when the winter comes and you turn your gas heater on, what's the first thing that happens?
That smell.
No, but what happens to your body?
I don't know.
All of a sudden your lips get dry. Then all of a sudden your skin gets dry. It starts drying out because it burns off the moisture in the air.
Right.
Well, it does the same thing in a gas barbecue pit.
Interesting.
And so I don't cook with gas. And
use coal.
Use coal or wood. So,
well, all that talk of food now is starting to get me hungry.
I just to kind of comment on what you said before, like for the wintertime specifically, because the house I'm in is also it's raised, and to be honest, I think we could do with some like better weather sealing around the house. I think it could help it out a lot. I think there's a lot of open areas where some air is getting in from outside. I usually just turn the heater on to get that chill out, like you're talking about.
Yeah, I had to knock the chill out, so I put the heater on and just kind of knock the chill out a little bit.
Yeah, I never wanted to get super hot, but my roommate, he has his own little like standalone heater, and he likes it pretty warm in his room. So when the wintertime comes, I don't run the house really hot, but you'll open up his room and you'll feel the warm air escape.
Yeah.
You're like, oh man. So anyways.
Oh yeah.
So what we got on the schedule for today?
Well, we're talking about something that a lot of people do every day. And we thought it would be a fun topic to kind of just banter about.
Well, you just went on a cruise, and I'm thinking about taking Hottie Doctor on a honeymoon because 3 days before after we got married, I had surgery. Then 11 months to the day of the surgery, I had an accident, and she says I'll do anything to get out of the honeymoon. So we just need to, and so we're just talking about packing and getting ready for trips, and
it's kind of interesting. There's some common things on that. Yeah, common things that. It's amazing some of the stuff that I was able to find, but it's what do we do when it comes to packing and prepping for trips, and do we have a ritual that we follow? Some people are kind of random about it. Me, I'm more of I hate to say it, but I'm more of a kind of last minute. I don't really start packing before, and my beautiful girlfriend, she is very much a planner, and she starts
probably
prepping.
Has a list.
She's got a list.
See, she's got a list.
She's got a list, and she's checking things off, and which is I'm glad she's like that because that helps me. I'm more of a kind of like, okay, I got an idea.
Yeah.
Throw in here and all right, I'm good. I can't think of starting too early because then it's, I don't know, I get a little stressed out like that. But
I see Miranda's like that. She gets very stressed out having to think about packing or doing or something like that. She gets very stressed out.
Yeah, it's like, I know I'm going to lose something. I'm going to forget something. It just never fails.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. So
all right, you went on your cruise. Did you forget something?
I did.
What did you forget? Can you say?
I'm trying to remember what it was, but I did forget something, and I right now, off the top of my head, I don't remember.
Yeah,
but I will tell you, one of the things I saw, as far as a statistic here that hits right at home, because it happened to me on my trip to Little Rock when I went and ran my marathon.
Yeah.
Well, I left my leather jacket. In the hotel room.
Oh no.
Yes. So guess what happened? I called the hotel and I said, look, go check in the closet. That's where it's at. And this is a nice leather jacket.
Yeah.
Didn't even use it. But I brought it thinking it would be cool up there, whatever the case. So they go in there and say, yep, it's here. And we were out of Little Rock.
Yeah.
And we were almost, we were a good 75 miles out of Little Rock.
Yikes.
When I realized it. So, yeah, we're here. You're going to come get it? I was like, no, I can't. He goes, okay, we have a link that you can fill out. It's a service, and they charge you to basically go pick it up, ship it, and ship it back to your house. So
that's nice.
I saw this statistic here.
Okay.
The average person spends $53 on replacing forgotten items. Well, guess what I spent? $50.
No way.
Yeah.
That's what it cost you?
$50. Wow.
Hey, did you get it yet?
I did.
You got it?
That's not. Okay. I'll say $50 to have your stuff, to have something very important shipped back is.
And it says right here, it says around half, and this is a study. I just to have some context here. This is a website called Radical Storage. I don't know if any of y'all found this or not, but it's showing it was updated on February 28th of this year, of 2025. Okay. So this is relatively pretty good data on this, but it says about half. 50.3% of people say typical cost to replace items they have forgot to pack or, they left is between $11 and $50. And 13.6% of people say they've had to spend over $100 on replacing items they have left behind. So I thought that was that was interesting.
That is interesting.
So I was reading this. I went, God, that just happened to me.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, that's fun about Miranda is that we both make 2 tours.
Yeah.
Like when we went to Vegas and when we've taken smaller trips and stuff like that, we go and we check it, and then the other one goes and check it. Yep. And then we go and check it, and the other one goes and check it. And we open every drawer, every cabinet, and we verify that we have everything. Yeah. We look under the bed or the couches or whatever to make sure. So
in the production world, we call that an idiot check. Whenever we have fully dismantled all the equipment on the stage, everything's all packed up and put away, all the instruments, all the speakers, all the cables, everything, all of it's taken down. I would take my flashlight and I would go and just walk around the whole stage, underneath it, over it, just walk over all of it, just do an idiot check, and then I'd pass the flashlight off to the owner of the business, and he would go and walk around as well, do his little check, and he's like, "All right, we're good to go." Because there was so many times. Because it's one thing to leave a couple of cables sometimes on accident, but we've had some guys that have left like one of the side monitor speakers. It's a couple $100.
Yeah.
And it's just sitting there on the stage, and it's like, oh no. Or if the weather gets bad, heaven forbid, you're like, oh no, ain't no way. So yeah, but I do that in my routine for leaving any kind of hotel or heading home. I'll pack everything up. Everything's all where it's supposed to be. And I'll go around my phone flashlight, and I'm like checking inside the closets, inside everything. And you'd be surprised how many times, the person I'm traveling with will have forgotten something.
Some key statistics I've found that I think our audience will find interesting regarding this topic. I thought this would be fun here.
Yeah.
They say people forget an average of 2 essential items each time they pack for a trip.
Really?
Which is about right.
Interesting.
Yeah. They said now, the items most often left behind. What do you think that is?
Oh, man.
Leather jacket?
That was not packing it to go there. Yeah. I was leaving it coming back.
Okay.
So what do you think is the one item, at least based on this survey? What do you think it is?
This isn't a me thing, but I feel like the statistics are probably weighed heavy that it's some sort of toiletry item.
You got it. It is that. Toothbrushes and toothpaste.
Really?
Okay.
Yes.
I'll never forget. Okay. Some people
at 22%. And what you think number 2 is?
Deodorant?
Hey, that's a good option.
Nope. Something you use every day.
Socks? Maybe socks? Underwear?
No, it's not a clothing item.
I don't know. Electronic, maybe?
chargers.
Okay. See, those are the two things on the list. I always make sure to have extra toothpaste.
At least according to this survey, 19.1%. That is the two items that are most often left when people are packing for a trip. They forget their toothpaste or toothbrush, and they forget to pack a charger.
Really?
Yeah.
You see, I always have extra chargers.
I mean, hey.
And I have a habit because I have a go bag kind of, and that always goes with me. And in the bottom of that go bag, I have a couple of bricks.
Right. I
have a couple of charger cables, but I also, because for the last couple of years, I've been using the C cable. I bring a old, what is the micro one with the two little slanted things on it?
I think it's micro USB.
Micro USB and an Apple. In case somebody around me has forgotten theirs, I can go here.
Yeah, right.
So that's just kind of, I have a little bag for that.
I in my list, I have like a little list template that I will fill out usually a day or two before whatever trip I'm going on.
Mm-hmm.
But the template of that list is like a little checklist I have on like Google Notes or whatever it is, and I have it broken down into categories where it's like toiletries, electronics, clothing, and other or something or miscellaneous or something like that. And a lot of times I have I have a little checklist of like those little things where I can make sure I have all those stuff like that. And I've always the template that I have, obviously I made whenever I'm like sitting down here thinking about it and being very specific about what all I want to bring. So sometimes if the list calls for something different, I may add it or remove it or whatever. But for the most part, that list has all my little
you're talking about lists. It says 72.9% make a list of what they need to pack for each trip. And I am outside of that, actually, because I never make a list.
Uh-oh.
Well, before my accident, I didn't need a list.
Right.
But now I feel like, when we, Heidi Doctor and I go on this trip, I'm going to have a list just so I don't forget anything.
Right.
But it's kind of funny. Y'all keep talking about lists and things like that. Do you use a packing rule?
A little bit.
Anybody, there's a 1 to 6 packing rule, a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 packing rule.
Oh no,
I don't 3, 3, 3 packing rule, and it's kind of interesting.
Jason's like, it's Wild West out here.
Like the 3, 3, 3 packing rule. Choose 3 tops, 3 bottoms, and 3 pair of shoes to create different outfit combinations.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty smart. Then like the next one is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5 tops, 4 bottoms, 3 shoes, 2 dresses, and an accessory set. Stuff like that. This is for ladies too.
So
because we have to remember that's
right,
over 50% of our listeners are of the female demographic.
So just I've never heard that, but hearing you describe what it is now, I do implement something like that for myself. Where I have a lot of times I don't go on trips much longer than a week.
Mm-hmm.
So I usually will bring something like 5 or 6 shirts or whatever, over shirts for a couple of things. The weather's different.
Okay, so you would be closer to the 1 to 6 packing rule. 1 hat, 2 pair of shoes, 3 pairs of pants, 4 shirts, 5 socks, and 6 pairs of underwear.
Yeah.
Now, technically, underwear is kind of a weird thing. Because if you flip it inside out and turn it enough, you can get 4 wears out of each pair of underwear. So you just got to turn it, flip it, and flip it.
I'm definitely probably a 1 shoe kind of person, like a one set of shoes, and it's usually my boots that I always wear, and the matching belt that goes along with it. But like I try and pack light because I like to be able to have my backpack that has all of like the things I need like at the ready. So like the electronic stuff, phone chargers, laptop chargers, anything like that is more if I bring a laptop, that kind of stuff. And then in a unit like this, like a kind of another carry-on bag, a little small rectangular one, I'll put everything else, all the clothes, all the things I don't need immediately. But I like to run with like 2 bags for like a week trip, if that's what it's going to be. I've ran before like a big backpack and like a duffel bag type thing, and I could sling over myself as well. And I'm just like, on the go. That's what I've run with.
I got talking about our ladies.
Yep, yeah.
Somebody mentioned that 50% of our audience are ladies.
Better than 50%.
I want to shoot out a little stat here on. I think a lot of the ladies out there will appreciate this. 3/4 of women pack their partner's suitcase for them.
Stop.
Compared to 58.8% of men who do the same.
Wow.
And I've known several people that the wife will pack for the husband.
Because he's probably going to forget something.
Probably so.
Yeah.
Or it's just the way it's kind of worked out.
Yeah. But whenever I have had those kind of moments, she has made sure that she has all the clothing stuff, and I'm the one who always makes sure that she has all her medication stuff, electronic stuff, all those kind of things I know she's probably going to forget about. The toiletry stuff, the things that are the most likely to be forgotten probably are the things I'm like, I make sure that are all taken care of.
Yeah, as I said, I found that funny.
That is cool.
More ladies will pack a suitcase for their husband, or their partner.
I'll probably need help with Miranda this time. Before I lived since 1981. I lived with a go bag by the door that had 4 days, 5 days worth of clothes.
Like pack like a Navy SEAL.
Well, that was the point. I was in private sector protective services, and if the phone rang, I had to go.
Yeah.
It had extra cash, had my passport, had my weapon, extra magazine. It had everything to where I could grab it and go right then at that moment. So a lot of my stuff gears around that. But did you know there was a golden rule of packing for traveling?
What's that?
Can you guess? Can anybody guess what it is?
What is it?
The golden rule. Always take half the clothes you were planning to bring and twice the money.
Yeah.
That's the golden rule of packing for traveling. How about that?
That's interesting. I wonder why half the amount of clothes you'd imagine. Well, for me, I feel like I've already slimmed it down enough where I'll bring half. I'm not going to have any clothes. But maybe it's because people are going to bring.
But some people overthink it too much.
Yeah,
right. I'm going to need this. I'm going to need this. I'm going to need 2 shirts a day. Maybe the 3rd shirt in case I get sweaty.
Right.
And blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But,
interesting.
Technically, when you're traveling, you're not really soiling yourself by getting too dirty.
Right.
So maybe the pants can wear 2 or 3 times instead of just one. So.
Makes sense.
71.7% of people have overpacked.
See?
For a trip. And 40% say they have come home with clothes they didn't even wear. How does that? What do y'all think?
Well, that goes to the golden rule.
I overpacked. There's stuff that come back. It's like the coat.
Yeah.
And that I left, and there was other clothes that I didn't even.
That statistic fits the golden rule to a T, right there.
I don't have that problem as much, partially because I have done very brief tours as a musician, and so it gets a bit gross, especially with some guys on a bus and that kind of stuff. So like I've done some traveling with far less. So to have a couple of shirts and a couple pairs of pants is kind of a luxury to what I have run with before. So it is rare that I'll come back from a trip and have not worn all the clothes in my bag. The problem for me is because I pack pretty efficiently and I don't have a whole lot of, I do have some space, but not a whole lot of extra space. If I do buy a bunch of souvenirs for things, I always have a problem where like I now don't have the space to bring things home. That has been a consistent thing for me of like I pack to where like I have all my essentials, I have my stuff, and I do have a little bit of wiggle room. But then without fail, I'll go to pack up my bag and I'm like, man, how am I going to fit all this stuff in here?
Well,
now there's
that's
extra
another
stuff.
thing is the hottie Dr. Miranda suggested, and we found out in our pre-show that the lady Tracy also said, what do we need to have with us, Jason?
You need to have packing cubes.
Packing cubes.
I don't know what that is.
It's this.
I've never used them. I never even heard of them until I started dating Tracy. Okay. And but she utilizes them quite a bit, and they do come in quite handy as far as compartmentalizing clothes and able to pack, I would think, more things in a smaller space. especially now with airlines.
Oh, yeah.
When it comes to checked on bags and what you got to pay and all these things. I mean, speaking of that, y'all just saw Southwest just made some changes to their baggage policy.
Really?
So yes, I think it's basically made it where you got to pay. Whereas if you
pay for your carry-on.
It depends on what tier you buy at. Like I still think within their business select, which is in essence their first class, because Southwest doesn't have first, second, third class type of seating and all that. They just have business select, which basically means you board first and you just get whatever seat you want. But I just saw that, and I bring that up because we're going to be taking a Southwest flight on an early part of June, whereas the original flight was originally scheduled for May 21st. We would have beaten this new policy takes place at the end of May.
Oh no!
So just like, you've got to be kidding me.
Yep.
So
well, we're talking about packing cubes, and Miranda was telling me there's a new type now, and it coincide. When you pack, do you fold your clothes or do you roll your clothes?
I roll them.
Roll them uses less space.
Exactly.
But now there's some packing cubes for clothes. I don't think you'd want to do it for, your toiletries and stuff. But let's say you put your clothes in these packing cubes. There's a one-way valve on it.
Oh, yeah.
And so if you roll it, it pushes the air out,
right,
and then doesn't allow it to come back in, which saves space again.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's cool.
So that's kind of neat.
That is really cool.
So, and then with Miranda, we had the packing cubes for some clothes, and we had the little packing cubes for the toiletries,
right,
the medicine, and everything kind of fit. I took my large backpack and a travel carry when we went to Vegas.
Yeah.
And on the trip, I'll be doing the same thing if we actually are able to make this trip. So I'll have to get everything in those 2 bags. And so again, using those packing cubes are going to be kind of neat. So.
Yes. I need to buy some.
How much do they run?
They're not really expensive.
They're not expensive.
No, they're not, and they're usually got some. If it's the not the one-way vacuum kind, they have some mesh on them and zippers.
Fun.
Yeah, I mean, I they're whoever designed and invented packing cubes, were definitely knew what they were talking about, because I was like, there's a need for them, because they do enable you to, I think, compartmentalize your bag and able to, I think, put more stuff that you would normally, if you were just folding clothes, which is what I do.
It kind of keeps things, like you said, compartmentalized.
Exactly.
Here's some picture of them.
Yeah, I looked them up right here.
It's $19 for 4 of them.
Yeah, cool.
And you can get different sizes, which helps.
Yeah.
There's a 8-pack, even from small to extra large, for $16.99 on Amazon. So there's just some different ways you can go, but they really do help.
They look really cool. Or some of them do, at least. That's really awesome.
And a lot of them, they're designed to fit inserting bags or sections in your luggage.
Yeah.
Right.
So they'll fit, you put it in, put it, and then all you go just take, instead of digging and finding and losing.
It organizes your bag a whole lot better.
And then, like, toiletries, that's the last one that I would ever pack. But I would take, when we went to Vegas, I took my toiletry packing cube and set it by the sink. And then my deodorant, all my little stuff went into that. And then that was the last thing I put into my luggage to leave.
Wow, that's really cool.
So you kind of just, boom, that's got to happen.
Actually, I may go buy some of these. It's actually really cool.
Yeah,
Wow.
I'm looking at something here. I think this is, why do people forget to pack certain items? You know the number one reason?
I don't know. Last minute, or just
they've put stuff aside, but then they forgot to put it in the bag.
Oh yeah.
So packing for a trip can be stressful. There are many reasons why you might forget to pack an essential item. 29% of people say they have forgotten items because they put them to one side, but never actually put them in their bag.
Yeah. You mentally check it off. Like, okay, we have we have these items, and they're just in the bathroom.
Another reason is having a lot on your mind and having too much to remember or other reasons why you forget certain things. Wow. It's pretty interesting, some of these things, as far as people packing for certain things. Like, what's the number one item people pack when they go on a ski trip?
Wait, they pack on a ski trip?
Pack for a ski trip.
I don't know.
First aid kit.
Hey, that's
well.
good.
You should do that anyway.
Yeah,
right. but you should do that.
Statistically, people that go on ski trips will pack a first aid kit more than any other trip.
Wow.
See, that was in my go bag. And even if I went on a cruise, I would have a first aid kit, especially traveling. You're never going to, something happens. If you go on a cruise, why would you bring a first aid kit? Because they have a infirmary on the ship, right? Mm-hmm. But then you read things like that couple that caught the flu the day they got aboard the ship. They came down with the flu and wound up having to go to the infirmary and be locked in their room. Basically, it cost them over $15,000 for the medicines, for things like that. A Band-Aid could cost you $100 on a cruise. They don't take insurance on a cruise. So have that basic stuff, Band-Aids,
right?
Pain meds, all the necessary medicines you need, but also, the what do you call the stuff if you're on a cruise? Motion.
Oh yeah. I don't know the medicine, but the motion sickness medicine.
Motion sickness medicine. You just kind of have a little, and I learned that in my go bag days.
Yeah.
One whole end of my little bag was all first aid stuff. Mm-hmm. And then just zip it and boom, you pop it out.
Nice.
So, but you're going to want a first aid kit, definitely.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, I'm reading here some U.S. averages of travel prep habits in the United States. And these are U.S. averages here. The typical American traveler's check bag. Here's an average number of clothes people pack for a weekend trip. 8.4 shirts and tops.
Okay.
For a weekend trip?
Weekend trip.
Get out.
Week-long trip.
Okay, that's better. I was thinking
8.4 on shirts and tops, 6.0 for bottoms and pants, 2.6 shoes, 9.0 underwear, 7.4 in socks, 2.4 in pajamas, and 1.9 on dressy formal wear.
Wow.
What do you think is the state with the most, who overpacks the most?
Up north somewhere. Have to be up north with their cold stuff. Nope.
What do you think?
I don't know.
California.
No.
I have no idea. I didn't know.
Pennsylvania.
Really?
Okay. Up north somewhere with the cold, see?
Yeah, they earn the distinction by reporting higher than average quantities of shirts, pants, shoes, underwear, and socks packed for a 7-day trip. Pennsylvanians, for instance, pack over 10 shirts, nearly 8 pairs of pants, more than 3 pairs of shoes, and a staggering 11 pair of underwear.
Wow.
And 9 pairs of socks for their week-long travels. And then the next one would be Indiana, and third, Kentucky.
Weird.
The fewest...
Still cold.
Yeah.
The fewest overpackers. What do you think?
Florida.
Nope.
California.
Nope.
Who?
Louisiana.
Minnesota.
Really?
Yes.
So weird.
That's what you would think.
Yeah.
The logic would tell you people up north would do that, but no.
Wow.
Minnesota emerged as a standout in this regard with an overpacking score of a mere 15.2 out of 100.
Oh my gosh.
Minnesotians demonstrate a penchant for minimalistic packing, notably bringing the fewest pairs of pants and shoes on their 7-day journeys.
Wow.
Followed closely behind is Oregon.
Weird.
And then rounding out the top 3 for light packers is Washington State.
Wow. Okay.
What do you think is one of the main things that people forget to do when packing for a trip?
I don't know. I don't know. Schedule something, or I guess they forget to
kind of in a way.
Okay.
You're not there, but
got it.
What do you think, Jason?
What do they forget to do?
Forget to do while preparing to pack to go on a trip.
I don't
Let
know.
me think a minute. What they would forget to do.
Okay, you're fixing to go on a trip.
Yeah.
Right.
And you're going to go somewhere.
Right.
Right? And you've got family, you got friends, you've got
Pets.
pets,
Okay.
but not this.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Leave space for souvenirs.
That's what I was saying. That's
To
my
bring
problem.
something back
Yep.
for your people and souvenirs and stuff.
Yep.
They stuffed so much they don't have any room to bring anything back, and you're like, oh, crap. What do I do?
I got wiggle room in my bags usually, but like I said, not. The last time we went to Disney, I got the most souvenirs, not only just for myself, but also for other people as well. And I had extra room in my bag, but I didn't have that much extra room.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was really, I was like, there's no way we're going to leave anything here. But I was definitely like, am I going to be able to fit all this in there? And I did, but man, was it tight. It was super tight.
Here's one here. What do you think? How many days in advance do American travelers start packing for a 7-day trip?
Ooh, that's a good question.
The week before.
The week before?
Yeah.
Get out.
The average,
The average, I think, is 2 or 3 days before.
it's 2 days.
Really?
It's 2 days before. They say about 30% of our respondents initiate packing 2 full days before embarking on their journey, while 23% prefer to start packing 3 to 4 days in advance.
Wow.
Surprisingly, 16% opt for even earlier start, packing 5 to 7 days before departure. I don't know how you do that.
That was why I said it in that way towards him, because I was like, I can't imagine packing a week before a trip. That stresses me out.
They say maybe about 29% admit to being last minute packers.
Same.
That's probably me.
Yeah. I'm probably 2 days before.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, and I'd want to have it done.
Yeah. Well,
see, it would be less stressful for me to know.
Right.
I have, I know I'm going to be gone for X amount of days. Right. I need this many shirts. I need this many pants.
Mm-hmm. And so that's what my list is. I may make a list a week before, and I'll like refine the list, but I won't start taking things out the closet and like putting it in the bag until probably 2 days before, and then even the day before, where I'll go back over all my checklist and the bags and make sure everything's all. Like, so, and the same thing, idiot check. I'll walk around the house and go, okay, I know I set all these things aside, but are they all in the bag? Is everything where it needs to be? So, yeah.
Yeah. 4 out of 10 Americans intentionally overpack. 40% admit to often or always returning home with clothes they never even wore. Interestingly, 40% of Americans also say they often have to fight their suitcase zipper shut.
Yep.
Which makes sense considering all the data points that are being used as a nation of overpackers.
Do you want to know a little bit? This may be a very specific scenario. This is not for everyone. Talking about those musician days like I was talking about, I had a fellow musician on one of those brief little tours that had said, and like I said, this is very like first world kind of, I don't say a problem, but first world solutions. Is he was like, don't overpack clothes ever. He's like, we will go and shop when we get to a town, and we'll get some extra clothes if we need them.
Right.
Or we'll get some cool specific like accessories or whatever. So he's like, just pack light, have an almost empty bag with not a whole lot of clothes, because like we'll make do, but like we'll go to a town. And then we'll like just go shop around and get some new clothes. And of course you can fit them in your bag. And and I was like, I've never thought about that, but I was like, that's actually that's true. If for whatever reason, like there's an emergency or whatever, I can just like go, I mean, like within reason, obviously. But for most trips, I can just go like to a store mostly, or take an Uber somewhere and get an extra pair of pants.
Some people do that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's speaking of just airlines, nearly 9 in 10 Americans would choose an airline offering more lenient baggage policies, such as allowing passengers additional carry-ons or complimentary checked bags. So, of course, now that kind of touches back what I mentioned about Southwest's new policy, and I think a lot of them now were I just think it's just weight and fuel and stuff like that they're dealing with. So yeah.
Here's a great little list that I found. It's my must-have travel accessories and my favorite travel hacks. Number 1, make a packing list. Number 2, start packing early. This is for a stress-free thing. Plan with outfits rather than options. And don't write off packing cubes as number 4. Get rid of the Ziploc bags. And then if you're traveling like on a plane, get a luggage scale. And then store your delicate items in your shoes.
Yeah, I've done that.
I like my glasses, my extra pair of glasses and things like that would go in my shoes. And utilize your carry-on and stay organized with the cubes and bags. So everybody sounds like they kind of got the plan. Why is it so stressful then? Why does it become so? Everything we've talked about is in these lists.
I know, but I know with me, it's just I can't start too early because then I'm like, that's clutter to me.
Yeah.
And I'm not ready to put my mind into the moving or the travel port yet if it's too early. And I just always feel like I know I'm just got to a point where I've left something. I know I've left something. That's just what it is.
We got to sit down. We got to have a real moment.
Yeah.
Because for me, the only kind of it's not stress. For me, the tension of it is the excitement, not of the packing, but like we're going on a trip, and so like for me, I've noticed that I kind of will. People think that I'm stressing about it, but I'm just really excited to do that, to get this all done and to like get it all packed up, and it's all. So I
love traveling. Once I've got on the plane or whatever, it's like, okay, I'm done. But leading up to that, it's like, I know I forgot something.
Do you sleep the night before a trip?
Yeah, I try.
I try, but I don't have very much success. I just don't, because oftentimes the flights are early.
Yeah,
and because you want to get on a plane as early as you can to prevent it from, delays and stuff like that. So that means you're having to go to bed earlier. You're excited about the trip. It's just, you try to sleep. I don't really sleep very well. I may sleep a few hours and it's like, okay, I'm ready to get going.
Right.
So
I'm in the same boat.
Envious of people that can just go to bed, normal, wake up. It's like, okay, let's go, so... Yeah, I don't operate that way.
Interesting.
I'm just a little bit more stressed out when it comes to that stuff. It's just, I think I would probably be better just to travel with like nothing and just deal, and just buy what I need at that point, and maybe just have a backpack, and that's be about it. I'll probably be less stressed.
Probably.
But packing a suitcase,
No,
it can be quite stressful for me.
Yeah, I can't completely relate. There has been moments where we are down to the wire, where I have gotten a little bit stressed because I haven't gotten everything packed the way I should have, a full 2 days in advance. But in a perfect world, but I'm in the same boat as you. If I have to be at the airport super early, I'm not. I won't get a full night's rest. I'll get a nap.
Well,
I'll probably get a couple hours.
According to this chart that the states that pack the most and pack the least, the ones that pack the most, at least according to this survey, was New York, North Carolina, South Carolina, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana.
And these are all that pack the most?
Pack the most.
Really?
Yeah. The ones that pack the least are primarily out west.
Really?
New Mexico, Colorado, Utah, Nevada, Washington, and Oregon. And in California and Arizona right there. So I found that funny.
Yeah.
And they got a few of them on the East Coast. I mean, in the Northeast. But, yeah. Seemed like, it's kind of more of concentrated in our area of the U.S. that seems that we overpack.
Well,
I don't know why. We just do.
Do you guys have any, besides Stoney, you talking about your trip, do you have any other trips? I know you mentioned something about going in May.
I'm going to Florida. I'm going to visit some family in Melbourne, Florida.
Okay.
So we always get an invite to go. This year we're going, and as I said, in June.
Yeah.
So that'd be our trip to the beach.
Oh, it's probably packed out there in Florida.
No,
June?
That's Melbourne, Florida. That's on the Atlantic side. That's not a commercial area.
Interesting.
So we'll go there. Matter of fact, I've been out there in May and been on the beach and be like, there's no one out there.
Really? Oh, that's got to be fun.
Great. And being on the Atlantic is different than being on the Gulf.
Yeah.
The tides are a lot more extreme, it just has a different feel for it. But we'll be going in June. And then we have another trip in July. We're heading to Glacier, Montana. So that'll be something different.
And are you flying to both of those?
Yeah.
Nice. You got a couple of trips you got to
And then in October, we're going to Las Vegas. So
really?
This year, we have a lot. You got a lot of
got a stacked year.
Places to go. Yeah. So we're going to be utilizing my airline miles.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm saving up. I'm still saving up some money. I have a pretty big trip potentially planned around probably April or May next year.
So, next year,
yeah. So
where y'all gonna go?
That's a secret.
Oh,
but yeah.
Okay.
But it's gonna probably be international, so it's gonna be a big trip.
You could tell us and the listeners. We'll keep a secret.
No. Not to say I don't trust you guys. I don't trust the listeners.
What?
But,
I trust the listeners more than you guys.
Wait a minute. So yeah, but I think it's gonna be.
What one of the top mistakes in traveling is?
What's that?
Using an old suitcase.
Okay.
Using an old suitcase without wheels, latches that don't really latch, and you burst open and all your crap goes flying everywhere.
Right.
So if you haven't traveled in a while and you go get one of these nice, carry-on style.
Well, especially like you'd be surprised even in just the past couple years. It's interesting. It's funny to say this because they're bags, but like the suitcase technology, the wheels, the handles, the fact that I don't know if I said this on the show or not, and if I did, I apologize. I have my camera bag, that backpack over there. I keep all my equipment in that, like I ask my laptop. It's got all my stuff that I just keep with me all the time. I had one. And I had it for forever, and I loved that bag so much. But the zipper on it, it broke. The teeth got like ripped or whatever, and so I would have had to like pay to replace the whole zipper. And like it's a nice bag, but I really had kind of worn it out for a while, and I probably had it for like a decade. So I was like, you know what? I think I'm okay retiring this old camera bag, this old backpack. And so I did, and whenever I bought that new bag, I bought the matching rectangle carry-on like bag with the wheels on it, just that way I could have it all. If I ever want to travel with everything, which I do, I can have it all in this kind of matching set that it attaches to each other. And I was like, oh, it's a cool concept. But the second I got it all, and I started just like playing around with it, wheeling around and like attaching it to itself, I was like, man, how nice would this have been back in the day when I was just like a duffel bag and a backpack, to have like everything be so compact and connected to each other and has nice wheels and everything. They have a lot of new technology in the packing world that has made things, and like these packing bags, like we're talking, or packing cubes, whatever they're called. Now that I know about them, I'm probably going to buy some of those too. Mm-hmm. So,
well, they say make sure you have a suitcase though that has really good wheels, full wheels on it, because that comes in handy.
Yep. think that one right there has 2 on it.
Yeah, they say really the ones that have 4.
Oh, yeah.
That way you can...
Well, things like that. If you have one that has 4 on it, like we use backpacks a lot, you can pull the handle up and then slide the backpack on that, and it's really just one.
Exactly.
That's what I was saying about that, is that backpack fits into the slide. It has like a little strap that it slips into. I'm like, oh, man, it's so cool. So, yeah.
It's good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Kind of fun to talk about this because it's something simple in life, but apparently it causes a lot of grief and a lot of stress to people, and it should be fun. You're getting ready to go on a trip, you're getting ready to go have fun, and it's stressful, and it's so stressful when you come back from the vacation, you need a vacation.
Oh yeah. I never liked that. I never liked over planning for a vacation where it feels too stressed out.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I think everybody has their own kind of method to the madness and how they go about doing it. And some can probably do better, like me, when it comes to this topic, because I am terrible when it comes to this stuff. And for whatever reason, it's just what it is. And hopefully...
Well, it sounds like
with the packing cubes, and if I can get some packing cubes, which I think I'm gonna try.
Yeah,
and I think that might help a lot.
It sounds like this year you're gonna have probably
I'm gonna have a lot of practice,
a lot of opportunities.
I have a lot of practice,
which is
because
cool to hear.
The trip to Glacier, that's 7 days.
Okay,
so it'll be a 7-day trip, and then of course you got to pack certain type of clothes.
Well, of course,
so. But yeah,
that's
exciting.
Really cool.
We'll have a good time, and looking forward to it. So hopefully I'll take some of this to heart and apply some of this knowledge.
We'll have to have a follow up.
We'll have to do a follow up to see if I was actually successful.
Yeah.
In this endeavor. So
interesting.
But I had fun, really did, and kind of reading about this and.
Well, it's one of those things in life that should be really, really simple. And it just turns out to just be so stressful to people and driving them crazy.
Right.
Yeah, well, it literally drives Miranda crazy.
Really?
Yes. It's extremely stressful for her. And I feel bad for it because I could give a shit.
Well, if anybody out there has their packing list or their routines they want to share with us, please feel free to reach out. We have all the comment sections and all the platforms you probably listen to us on.
Or if you have any horror stories.
Yeah.
If you've got any, we like the horror stories too. Yeah. Holler at us.
Give us the drama. Give us the drama. Yeah. Like we said before, we have an email address, getoffendedtogether@gmail.com, where you can send the long form responses and all the different.
Still got the website.
Retrospectpodcast.com. Right. And with all that being said, thank you so much for listening. Bye-bye.
Goodbye, everyone. God bless.
Hey, thanks for hanging out with us today. You're the best. Peace.